Welcome to the All Good Things with BBB Podcast on our brand new format. Thanks for joining us today. This podcast is designed to give you real world tips to help you be a better business. And our podcast is produced by the wonderful Stephanie Blue. And I'm your host, Jessica Tharp, your president and CEO. Today, we're joined by a veteran business owner, Edward Platt of ESP Painting, and we're going to talk to him as he's recently celebrated retirement and learn some wisdom from Ed on all the things in business and just the secret maybe of life, happiness in general. So Ed, you started ESP Painting back in 2008. What did you do? Yeah, tell me about when you started it.
Before that. I started back about 2005, somewhere in there. After I retired, I started. However, I did paint before that, but
what did you do before you started the business?
I was still a painter.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you wanted to run your own company?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
What was that like, starting your own business?
Kind of scary, because you never know when you get a job, if you're going to get a job, if you don't get a job. And usually when you start, just about everything is on the line.
Yeah. How did you get through it?
Ups and downs. I got through it. A lot of it was because I had a lot of experience when I started it. Had I started from maybe just a year's experience, I might not have been able to get through some of the crossroads.
Tell me about some of the crossroads you encountered.
Well, you've had people that wanted colors and changed their mind when you're halfway through and didn't want colors, so you have to go back and forth on that and work that out. You have other customers and yourself that you really get doubtful when you're doing things, if you're doing them the right way or you're doing them the wrong way. Mm-hmm. But there's things you just have to work through. You can't, if you're going to get discouraged, you can't. You have to be determined to get it done. If you do it wrong, you'll have to apologize to them, go back, and make it right. I started out with, if you're not happy, I'm not happy.
That's a wonderful way to start, for sure. Just that commitment to excellence in every job.
Thank you.
And so so how long have you been painting altogether?
About 50.
Okay. What do you got?
I don't know.
Oh, your pin. Oh, I love it. That's so nice. And so now you're transitioning retirement-wise again.
Yes, partially. I'll probably still do a little. I'll do a little bit now and then, but
yeah.
And some of that's how I started out, a little bit now and then. Hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? By the way, I have another job. Would you like to do that?
Yeah.
Yes, I said I'll try that. And then one of the companies I worked for, he said, I've got some repo houses. Would you be interested in painting them? And I thought, do I really want to get that involved in this? But I went ahead and done it. And I'm happy I did, because now I've turned it over to my son, who was my student, but now he is not my student any longer because he could teach me more. He's a perfectionist.
Well, have things changed? I would assume the paint is different, and so
much
the techniques.
Different. Yes. And I in high school, I worked for Bourne Paint Company over in Peoria.
Oh, very good.
And they still worked with lead paint.
Uh-huh.
And some of that lead paint was, you had to have two hands just to hold a bucket. And latex was just getting a hold to replace the oil paints.
Yeah.
And all the latexes I've used in the last few years have been phenomenal. They've been very good.
Yeah. So when did Sean start working for you?
Sean started working for me about 11 years ago, right around there. And like I said, he gotten better and better and better. And I turn everything over to him, and I don't have to worry about anything. He just does a great job.
Who taught you how to paint?
Basically, myself. But I did learn. I painted at Caterpillar, the offices, the buildings. And I was fortunate enough to have some outside painters that came in there to work with us. And they stayed there. Caterpillar hired them to be painters. So they actually were painters with us every day of the week. And I learned a tremendous amount from them. And then I just applied what I'd already knew with what I've been taught, went on from there. So
very good. So now Sean's pretty much running the reins and you're helping out.
Yes, Sean is running the reins now.
So, you mentioned ups and downs and kind of trials and tribulations and your mindset of just being dedicated to customer happiness.
Like I said, if you're not happy, I'm not happy. Yes.
What other kind of crossroads did you encounter as you were running the business over the years that you remember being a tough time and pushing through?
I remember one time I bought a paint from a company over in Pekin, Model Wallpaper and Paint. And I was younger then, and I was living in Pekin. And this lady wanted me to do a job. So I bought the paint from Model Paint. And I don't think they're in business anymore, but they did have good paint. And I was putting it on her walls, and it kept looking more horrible. And it looked horrible. And I said, I'll come back tomorrow, and I'll make sure everything is right. I put it on again the next day. It was horrible.
No.
And now this paint, I've gotten paint here before, and it's been very good paint.
Yeah.
And come to find out, they had given me a paint that had been sitting on a shelf, which they didn't know even was about 8 or 9 years old, and it was really, really bad. But usually latex, when you open it, if it's bad,
tell, yeah.
you can tell when you walk in the door up here. You can tell.
Yeah.
It's bad. But anyway, they gave me another gallon. I put it on, and she was happy because I got the heck out of there so she could straighten her house up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that was one. And fortunately, I have not had too many,
Yeah.
which I try to avoid that as much as I can. Not all of my customers, almost every one of them have been excellent to work with. Had no trouble with any of them.
You know, every time I see you, you always have a smile on your face every single time. And how do you keep that positive mindset all the time? What keeps
Well,
you going?
There again, you go through life, you have a lot of trials and tribulations, and if you let it get you down, it's going to get you down. And I've always just tried to, if I get down, it won't be very long, because I say, hey, you can't do this, you have to go. Sometimes you get up in the morning, don't want to go to work, you still got to go.
You still gotta go. Yeah.
You know, you guys, you know that as well as I do.
Yeah.
But that's, just be happy.
It's a choice.
I say hi to people. Hell, I don't even know them, but I just say hi to them, and smile. And I see so many people with a down look on them. Like I can't wait to get out of here, or I beat, or what. I don't like that. I like to stay positive,
Yeah.
and I think you have a little bit more success if you stay positive.
For sure.
True. We can all be down. We can all be down. But, we just got to stay positive.
What would you say to a person that's getting ready to start a business? What advice would you offer?
Know what you're doing, and don't take a lot of chances. Know what you're doing. Be qualified at what you're doing. If you're not completely qualified, I would hire somebody that is, because I've always believed that I don't know everything. I might hire somebody else that does, and they can help me.
Yeah.
And that's what I would say. If you're not going to be committed to it, then don't do it. And that's the way I've always been. And if I needed help, I would go to painters that I knew and ask them, hey, I've got this problem. What did you do, or how can I correct it? And get their advice and go from there.
Yeah.
And I would say 95% of the time they're right. The other 5% of the time is I don't want to listen to them.
Be selective about who you get advice from. Yeah. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
I should do that, yeah.
What would you say to someone that's thinking about retiring?
Well, just make sure you get everything together. That's what I did. I retired. I retired with the idea of going fishing quite a bit. But my poles, I think I've got to get some WD-40 for them because they're still pretty rusty. But that's what I wanted to do. I had a little cabin in Mason County, and I wanted to spend a lot of time down there. But then some of the customers I'd done some work for some banks. And they started me out on a couple little jobs here and a little job there. And then the next thing you knew, it got bigger and bigger. And like I said before, do I really want to do this? But I did. I got suckered back into it. So that's where I'm at today. But I'm still retired. And even though I painted with somebody you're working with you can always take a day or two off if you want to. You know, that's what I liked about it, if it comes to want to have a 4-day weekend, I just told Sean, hey, he said, no problem, Dad, go ahead, take it home.
Yeah.
So that's kind of good too, because if you're working for somebody else, you have to be there.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it. And of course, in the beginning, it was every day. You just can't go out and do a job for somebody and say, well, I'll be back 2 days from now. And then you got drop cloths down and you got paint all over. And they wouldn't be too happy with that.
Right. Right. What about trust? I mean, how, especially as a one-man band starting out, how did you build trust with your customer?
Well, I think some of it is what you said earlier. When I smile, I think people kind of get a trust in me, and then I tried to maintain that trust. And then sometimes when I would do a room, if I was doing a whole house, I would do a room and say, I want you to look at this when I'm done, and even look at it again tonight and see if you're satisfied. If you're not, let me know tomorrow. Then I have a better idea of what I have to do to the other rooms in the house.
That's a great idea.
That's kind of how I started. And then if I got mad at myself, then I just hit myself on the head a little bit. Take it out on me like I should.
Yeah, I think that's key. Being open to feedback about the work is really.
I've always said that every customer we've done work for, I always got a kick of them. They would say, "Well, now do you want me to pay you?" I said, "No, not now. Wait till I'm done." Or if it was a big job, I might take 20% to start, because I have had some big jobs. But I said, wait till I'm done. And they said, well, gee, sometimes the people want their money up front. I said, well, I don't want that, because if I'm not doing a job right, we need to sit down and talk and figure out what we're doing. Then when I'm all done and you're happy, you can pay me. And I've always asked, when I'm done on the job, I say, now, are you happy? Everything okay? Yeah. And then we get our money, or we get paid, I should say.
Yeah. And that's worked for many, many years.
Yeah, it's worked for many years. Like I said, I think I've had one person that wasn't happy with me, and I wasn't happy with them, to be honest with you. But that's kind of the way that works.
Sometimes that happens. Yeah, when you're in business that long.
And that was a mess, a real mess. But those things you just have to go on and keep going, forget about it.
So your company has been accredited with the BBB for a long time as well. What does that mean to you?
Well, it means a lot to me, because it shows the people in the area that, hey, I do good work. Like I said, if you're not happy, I'm not happy. And I think that translates into people putting trust in you also.
Yeah. Do you think it helped your business?
Yes. Yes, it does. Very much.
You were one of the more active companies with the customer review app. Do you remember coming in, kind of helping get some of that feedback?
Yeah, it did. It did. And you still have it.
Yeah.
I need to get another code.
Okay.
I need to get another code for that, yes.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, we can help with that.
Yeah.
We can help with that. So what other life advice would you give somebody? Let's just say someone my age. I'm 40 years old. What would you say to me as an adult?
Just as a person?
Yeah.
Do to other people. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And before you start talking to other people, clean your own back porch off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good.
That's the way I raised mine. It's worked out pretty good so far.
It reminds me of that analogy of when you point the finger, that there's all the rest of them pointing back at you.
Yes.
Yeah, so keeping that in
and
mind.
That's the philosophy I've lived by. Clean off your own porch before you start talking about somebody else's.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It is so great talking to you all the time. We always learn something. We try to share your bits of wisdom with the staff when we talk to you. And we even had a quote that we share with all the businesses about what you said one time of get up every morning and be thankful and keep your chin up and be glad somebody's not standing over you.
You have to. You can't. Like I said, I'm blessed that I'm 80 years old, 81 going on 82. And I see people 50, 60 years old, and I really say, gee, it's a shame, but I'm blessed with great health. If I never make a dime, I'm rich because of my health. Because I get up every morning and do what I want. I don't have to, I take an aspirin. That's about it.
That's it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's just about it.
Yeah. And you've always been active,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sure have.
So
Keep active.
are you going to go fishing?
I-
Or maybe tomorrow?
I don't know. I think I'm going to do that more this year. I finally got a chance to do some things I want to do
Yeah.
that I haven't done before.
Like what?
Well, I want to do some things in my yard. I love flowers.
Oh.
And I've one of my favorites is irises, and I've planted them before. The ones I had, they went back to yellow. All of them went back to yellow, and I didn't know that happened, but they did. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to try to get some more of them. And now with my young daughter she wants to help plant some
Oh, yeah.
seeds too. So
Wonderful. A little fairy garden, maybe.
yeah, that could be. I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, I love gardening too. Flowers especially. More gardening coming up, huh?
I think so.
Yeah.
Plus, I like to put a few vegetables in too. So,
Right.
I'll probably do that.
Good. Very good. Well, us too. We love gardening here, so we'll be thinking of you as we're
Good.
playing in the
Well-
dirt. Well, thank you so much for coming here today and being on our All Good Things with BBB podcast. We hope you enjoyed this conversation with Ed Platt of ESP Painting, located in Washington, Illinois. If you have any painting jobs, please hit them up. Sean will take the reins, but you're always going to get an opportunity to talk to Ed and hear some wisdom from him. We hope you share this and follow us on all the things BBB related, and we'll see you next time.
I will go out if you need to. If somebody calls me to take a look at a job, I will do that.
Oh,
I'll go
good.
out and take a look at it.
Expert.
And then Sean will tell me I don't want to do it that way. But anyway, we'll go out. We'll go out and take a look at it.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Thanks for watching. Perfect ending.
That was great.
Yay!
Thank you.
See,
Good
hey,
job.